There are certain types of meats that can cause a lot of damage to your health. Most people eat them without knowing what they are, and they are very dangerous. These meats are found almost everywhere and in many ingredients, and knowing the difference between them can be the difference between you living a life of painful health issues or a life of health and happiness. In this video, I go over the most terrible meats you should avoid, which are looked at as safe by most people, but are extremely dangerous, which ends up costing them their health. By the end of this video, you will learn the type of meats to avoid so you can live a healthier and pain-free life. And I have an amazing free gift for you somewhere in this video, so stay tuned because you don't want to miss it. Now, let's get into the most dangerous meats for your health. 1. Factory-farmed chickens. These chickens will mess up your health, and you are going to find it impossible to lose weight and stay free from illnesses. Let me explain. Most people think they are eating healthy when they eat chicken, but factory-farmed chicken are more deadly than you imagined. Most chicken today is pumped with antibiotics, hormones, and toxins from dirty, crowded farms. This creates meat that has little to no nutrients at all, and on top of that, it can change your DNA structure and affect your hormones. You see this when women start to grow beards or when men start to develop breasts. It messes with your gut bacteria, hormones, and even your immune system, leaving you more vulnerable to disease. You're not eating clean protein, you're eating pharmaceutical leftovers. Switch to pasture-raised chicken, which is raised on the land, which is better and way more tastier. 2. Processed meats, like bacon, sausages, deli meats. These processed meats might look harmless, but don't let them fool you. Eating them is like saying hello to cancer. These aren't just meats. They're chemical bombs loaded with nitrates, nitrites, and preservatives. Every bite increases your risk of colon cancer, heart failure, and type 2 diabetes. They clog your arteries, damage your cells, and fuel inflammation that spreads silently across your body. You're not eating food, you're feeding disease. Every bite you take makes things worse. A study by Harvard School of Public Health states that eating processed meats like bacon or hot dogs is associated with a 42% increased risk of heart disease and 19% increased risk of type 2 diabetes. If you want to feel better and live longer, totally stay away from these processed meats. 3. Smoked meats. Smoked ham, turkey, ribs. Smoked meats carry more than just flavor. They carry toxins formed during the smoking process. When meat is smoked, it absorbs compounds, such as nitrosamines, which is known to be highly cancer-forming. These compounds don't just get digested, they break down into your tissues, destroy cell function, and will trigger cancerous mutations. If you think you love the flavor, think again. What you're tasting is cancer-causing compounds disguised as flavor. Boiling your meat, it's a better way to cook your meat, and if done right, it can even be way tastier. Let me know in the comments if you want me to make a future video on the best healthy methods to cook your meats that top celebrity chefs use. 4. Canned meats, Spam, corned beef, Vienna sausages. Most people eat canned meat because of how easy they are to prepare, but trust me, you are trading that for your health, and they do a whole lot damage to the health. Canned meats are some of the most heavily processed foods on Earth. They're filled with cheap meat scraps, toxic preservatives, excess salt, and often a dangerous chemical called BPA from the can lining, which can cause reproductive issues and obesity. They stress your kidneys, liver, and heart, and offer little to no nutritional value. Canned meats are convenient, yes, but convenience at the cost of your life is a deal no one should make. You're not eating protein. You're eating a laboratory product that poisons your body over time. Avoid it at all cost. 5. Charred grilled meats, the dark side of barbecues. Do you love that smoky barbecue flavor? The sizzle, the grill marks, the smell. It's almost irresistible. But here's the ugly truth. That delicious char could be a death sentence in disguise. When meat is grilled at high temperatures, especially over an open flame, it undergoes chemical reactions that form amines and hydrocarbons. These aren't just harmless byproducts. Both of them are classified by the National Cancer Institute and multiple international studies as carcinogens, compounds directly linked to the development of cancer. It doesn't matter if it's beef, pork, chicken, or fish. Once the surface is blackened, the danger level skyrockets. The longer and hotter the meat is cooked, the more of these toxins are produced. And what do we do next? We sink our teeth into it, celebrating the taste, while our cells quietly suffer. Over time, repeated exposure to these toxic compounds has been associated with increased risks of breast cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer, and even pancreatic cancer. These chemicals can damage DNA, inflame tissues, and weaken the body's ability to repair itself. And here's what makes it more dangerous. You don't feel it happening. You don't get a warning sign after one grilled meal. The damage is slow and invisible, until one day it's too late. Even marinades can't fully protect you. While some studies suggest that certain herbs or vinegar may reduce damage formation, they don't eliminate the threat. That beautiful, crispy crust is not flavor, it's chemical warfare on your health. So the next time you're tempted to dig into that char-grilled steak or burger, ask yourself, is a few seconds of flavor really worth years of potential illness? Because those perfect grill marks might just be killing your organs from the inside out. Before we continue, I made a free 7-day healing meal plan that will make you feel better and give you more energy. If you want it, the link will be in the description below. 6. Cured meats: salami, pepperoni, jerky. The preserved poison. Salami, pepperoni, jerky, they may taste savory and satisfying, but what you're really biting into is a chemical cocktail designed to last long, not your health. These meats are saturated with sodium, chemical preservatives, and artificial additives designed to keep them looking and tasting good for months, even years. But inside your body, they tell a very different story. The high salt content alone is enough to spike your blood pressure, placing dangerous stress on your heart and kidneys. Over time, that strain adds up, leading to chronic hypertension, kidney disease, and increased risk of stroke. And it gets worse. Cured meats are loaded with nitrites and nitrates, which your body can convert into nitrosamines, a class of compounds that have been strongly linked to stomach and colorectal cancers. This isn't speculation. It's backed by decades of research from organizations like the World Health Organization and major cancer institutes around the world. Every time you chew a slice of salami or grab a piece of jerky, you're not just eating for convenience. You're draining your organs in long-term damage. These meats promote systemic inflammation, weaken your immune system, and contribute to premature aging at the cellular level. Your body begins to fight a battle it never signed up for, one that takes years off your life. Yes, they're tasty. Yes, they're easy to pack. But their long shelf life is a red flag, not a bonus. If meat can sit on a shelf for months without spoiling, imagine what it's doing inside your gut, preserving disease while breaking down your health. So ask yourself, is that salty snack worth the silent suffering it triggers inside your body? Because with every bite of cured meat, you're not just feeding your hunger, you're feeding the very conditions that steal your health and vitality. 7. Dried or smoked fish, the hidden danger in tradition. Dried or smoked fish might seem like a wholesome food. In many cultures, it's a staple, used in soups, stews, or eaten on its own. But behind the nostalgic flavor lies a toxic trap that can quietly destroy your health. Here's the truth. Many dried or smoked fish products, especially those sold in unregulated markets or poorly preserved, are laced with chemicals and contaminants that you'll never see on the label. To speed up the drying process and preserve appearance, vendors in some regions use formalin, a chemical also used to preserve dead bodies. It's a known carcinogen. Formalin isn't just banned in food, it's toxic to the liver, kidneys, and digestive tract. Yet it's still found in cheap dried fish in many developing countries. Then there's the mold. Dried fish that isn't properly stored can develop fungi that produce aflatoxins, potent cancer-causing substances that target the liver and gut. And don't forget about parasites and bacteria. Poorly smoked or sun-dried fish can contain salmonella, listeria, and even intestinal worms, especially if consumed without cooking. Even fish smoked using traditional methods carries danger. During the smoking process, especially over open flames or charcoal, the fish absorbs nitrosamines. the same cancer-linked toxin found in burnt meats. And because fish meat is more delicate, it can absorb these toxins faster and in higher concentrations than red meat. Smoked or dried fish may taste nostalgic and offer convenience, but behind that rich flavor is a toxic cocktail of industrial pollutants, environmental waste, mold, and deadly chemicals, especially if it's not coming from a regulated, clean source. If you want a better health and want to live a life of vitality, don't forget to show some love. Until next time.